experience the feeling of hearing an alarm sound, looking down on our cell phones and seeing that we received an Amber Alert. But most of you don't know is the chilling story behind the Amber Alert. The Amber Alert, or the American Missing Emergency Response Broadcast Emergency Response, is an emergency response system that allows the law enforcement to publish information about an abducted person, normally a child. They use the media and roadway electrical signs. For the goal of the Amber Alert is to notify the community to help assist in the recovery of a child. Today, I want to talk about the history. I'll let you about the history. How you pay attention to some abduction facts, and keep tabs on some successful cases of some Amber Alerts. First, we will talk about the history. According to Wikipedia and the NBCnews.com, on July 13, 1996, 9-year-old Amber Renee and her younger brother, Ricky, decided to ride their bikes around an abandoned grocery store. After a while, her brother decided to head back home, and Amber leaving his sister alone. After a while, Amber was still riding her bike when, out of the blue, a truck arrived, and a mysterious man got out of the car, snapped Amber, and left the scene. A neighbor witnessed the events and immediately called the police. When Amber did not arrive home with her brother, their grandfather, Jamie Winston, got word and decided to go check on her herself. By the time he arrived, the police were already there searching the scene. One of the detectives there was Detective David Lopez of Arlington, Texas, the police department. He was a police officer at the time. He said to NBC, in quote, "For the first few days, we spent all our extra time looking. It was like we were on another call. We were actively looking for her. We were looking everywhere in the city. 4 days after Amber was abducted, a local man was walking his dog, and his dog alerted that something was at the bottom of the creek. He went to investigate, and he stumbled upon the dead body of Amber. The autopsy revealed that Amber was at least alive 2 days after her abduction, and during that time she was sexually assaulted. After the discovery of her body, a caller to the Dallas radio station asked a very interesting question. They wanted to know how a terrible thing was allowed to happen, and why couldn't the police department partner up with the media to inform the public when a child was abducted. This question received huge amounts of praise, which led to the discovery of the Amber Alert, named after Amber. Now, today, the Amber Alert is used in all 50 states, the District of Columbia, the Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and 22 other countries. Now that we have learned about the history, let's talk about some abduction facts. According to parents.com, did you guys know that every 40 seconds in the United States, a child goes missing or is abducted? Also, according to them, there are 3 types of in 2001, 4,279 people were reported to the FBI's National and Crime Information Center, or NCIC. The FBI estimated that 85 to 90% of those reports were missing children. Most cases were resolved in a few hours. There are also 3 types of kidnappers. The first ones are the family abductors that represent 49% of the kidnappings. Acquaintance abductors, who represent 27% of the kidnapping. And finally, there's the stranger kidnappings that make up 24% of the kidnappings. They're also, according to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, 80% of the abductions by strangers, first contact between child and abductor is to a quarter mile of the child's home. They also report that they also have a cyber tip line that's a national mechanism for the public and electric service providers to report on suspects that might be using sexual exploitation. In 2016, 8.2 million reports were received, and they all led to apparent child sexual abuse images, child sex trafficking, and child sexual molestation. Now let's look at some sexual kind of facts. Between 1997 and February 2017, the Amber Alert program has safely recovered over 868 children. And here are some of the most recent ones. On January 9, 2014, in Iowa, after the discovery of a dead woman, the police determined that she was killed by her significant other. He was also missing with her 8-month-old, her 6-year-old, and her 8-year-old. After the Amber Alert was sent out, there were many tips where they were, and one tip led them to the children to be at the resident suspect's home. The children were rescued, and the suspect was arrested. On May 25, 2015, in Worth, Texas, after a 9-year-old did not come home from her sleepover, her parents immediately called that she was missing, and she was also in company of family. After an Amber Alert was alerted, a tip said that the pair were in a different state. After the police arrived to the location, there was gunfire who killed off the suspect, but the child was safely recovered to their family. On October 17, 2016, in Liberty, Montana, a 13-year-old girl was abducted by a family friend, and after the police looked into his history, they discovered that the child was in grave danger. And they made the Amber Alert state in a couple of states. After a tip received that the child were at a resident's home, the police immediately acted, and they picked up the child, and the suspect was never found. Let's recap what we have learned. We learned about the history, some facts, and some successful cases. Even though there are still many kids missing, we cannot lose hope that they will be safely brought back to their loved ones. It's just as Detective Ben Lopez said to NBC in an interview that marked 20 years of Amber's death. It doesn't bring Amber back to Donna, but at least there is something that she can look at and recognize that her daughter has at least helped so many other kids. Thank you.